Excited to introduce our speaker for today's industry event. We're very fortunate to have Surya Patra, CEO of Softest Consulting Limited, with us on the call. So today, Surya will be sharing his career journey, including what led him to forming Softest Consulting, the challenges he faced along the way, and some valuable insights to the current job market. And he'll also provide us with some practical tips and tricks on how to start on during your job search during this call. And Surya will also be joined by his colleagues Harita and Kanaga. And as always, we have a quick Q&A at the end. So with that, Surya, I'll hand it over to you and thank you again for joining us for today's call.
Thank you, Miracle. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this session. Miracle, I had first interaction with you about 5 years back.
Yeah.
When you were with Enterprise Ireland, and that was a very brief, short interaction, and then we had no connection for until last month, and suddenly I got a message from you. I'm happy that you remembered me and thought about me for this session. So I'll talk about my journey, my experience, and I'll try to do my best, and I hope it will benefit some of the audience or most of you. And thank you so much again for the introduction. I am Surya Patra, founder and owner of Softest Consulting Services Limited. I live here in Dublin. It has been nearly 25 years for me to live in England, Northern Ireland, as well as Ireland. So it has been a bit of journey getting from India to here, and to spend a good few years with 9 to 5 jobs and sometimes extra hours. And then, I thought that, okay, now I am going to have my own company so that I don't have to work at all. I'll just be, in full control of my time and manage people, manage the things, and it'll be all easy. But you know what? I ended up working for 16 hours a day instead of 9 to 5. So that was it. And last couple of years, it has been a lot of work, and we have done a lot of things. I'll go through those details. Now in this session, I'm joined by my team, Harita and Kanaga. They have been very supportive to my work for last good few months. And so to briefly touch upon about my company. So my company is entirely focused into recruitment and employment in Ireland, in the UK, and in some parts of Europe as well. So we have got 2 different types of verticals. One is recruiting technology professionals for our clients. We have got a good few clients. Some of them are very big names, like all of you can recognize those companies like Allied Irish Bank, Bank of Ireland, MasterCard, Ernst & Young, Inland Revenue, DAFM, quite a few government departments, and few insurance companies like Allianz Insurance, Sun Life Insurance. That is to name a few, the big names. Over the last, I started actually my company in 2011, and in last about 14 years, I have got good few clients to work with, and it has been a very exciting journey. Apart from those big names, I have got few small companies also to work with from Northern Ireland, from Ireland as well. Also, some few companies from USA as well, United States of America. So it has been quite a bit of journey in that respect. And when I started my company, I never thought that I will be coming to this stage and I'll be able to deal with such big companies and my people will be able to work there, So it has all like happened. Some of the things are planned, some of the things are unplanned, on the way, I have ventured into things, got a lot of opportunities to work with, or some of the things that quietly knocked at my door, turned them into big opportunities. And on the way also, like any other entrepreneur, I have been through some failures as well. And failures are pillars of success. So we always learn from the failures. So that is briefly to talk about my entrepreneurial journey. And on the way, I have also received a couple of awards and a lot of certifications and accreditations, felicitations, and uh, a lot of recognitions as well. A lot of good partnerships established with quite a few names. So that was about my briefly about my company and my operations. And feel free to ask questions anytime, any of you. You can stop me and ask questions. I'm okay with that. Okay. So, but before the last about 14 years, what happened? I come from India, as you probably all of you have made it out. So I was born to a middle class family in a village, and I had my childhood in a very mediocre background. So like those days in India, in a village, the perspectives were limited, aspirations were limited, but things have somehow, somewhere, sometime worked for me to move from place to place and go from place to place. One thing that distinguished me as a child was I was a very good scholar in the school. I always used to come first in the class, and that probably overshadowed rest of the things. And I had my clear path from that, the benefit or advantage I enjoyed. Of course, that came through my hard work. So after my school, I went to one of the best colleges in Odisha. Odisha is a state, eastern state in India. That is where I come from. And then after the college, I went into one of the best engineering colleges in India. That's a National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. And then my professional career started in Mumbai. If you know Mumbai, it's like long travels, long commute, long journeys, a lot of time wasted on the traffic and all that. So, in fact, if you know a course called CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, after my engineering, I did Chartered Financial Analyst, which is a very difficult course actually. I mean, it is even more difficult to complete than Chartered Accountancy. I was successfully able to complete that course within the given time of 4 years. And you know what? I studied entirely or mostly during my train commute during those days. So, that was the time I was getting to study and stay focused. And, of course, it was having a lot of distractions, but I was able to get time and focus and study. And that is when I was able to complete the CFA course. So even though then later on I did MBA from when I was in Belfast in Northern Ireland. So um, in terms of my career journey, again, I have been through a lot of twists and turns throughout. So my career journey now spans for about 35 years, with last 14 years in my own company and last 7 or 8 years fully dedicated to my company. Um, um, but before that, in the corporate life, in about 25 plus years, I have actually moved 25 different companies in India, in England, and in Ireland together. I have traversed through 25 different companies and maximum I have stayed in a company for 5 years, and minimum for 3 months. So I never used to settle in any company for long. That is because whenever I felt that my day is not exciting anymore, means I am getting comfortable with my role, I used to move on. I used to always feel that, okay, whatever I have to learn here, I have learned. I have nothing new to do. So I used to move on to a different company, different job, different profile altogether. So, one thing I would say here is that I was very comfortable being uncomfortable. Even now, same thing, like probably Harita and Kanaga would agree, because I, talk a lot of different things and ideas, and change and all those kind of things happen, but that's all for the progression. And then I have seen that also. I progressed. I have been through those things, and when I compare myself to my peers or to people in my same age group, I feel that I'm a lot better off. And that's because I have taken risks. I have never settled with a few things. I've always wanted more. I have always looked for more, looked for better opportunities, tried to do things differently. So one thing, like, we all want things to be better for us. Okay. All of us want things to be better for us. But to get better things or to get different things, we have to do things differently. If we do the same thing, we cannot expect better things to come our way or different things to come our way. To get different things, we have to do things differently. That is what we have to try and do all the time. And that is what been my ethos all the time. Like, I have always tried to change things, do things differently. And if I complete a project or complete something, I always looked for something different, something new. So that is how I have been. And I hope I am not boring you with all these talks.
No, you're all good. Thank you, Surya.
So that is how it has been for me, and I have liked to be uncomfortable. And even in my, I'll tell you another thing. I am a mechanical engineer basically, and you know what? I did pure mechanical engineering type of work only for a year, the very first year of my career. Then I went to engineering consulting. After that, I moved to management consulting. Then I did CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, and moved into financial aspects, techno-economic feasibility studies, financial analysis, financial consulting, project consulting. Then, I moved to information technology, hardcore coding, writing codes, scripts, and all those kind of things. Then I moved into automation. I did a lot of test automation with different languages, Perl, Python, Java, and all that kind of thing. I learned all those tools, Selenium, and quite a few different things. I did that, and then I moved into management. Now my own company with all the responsibilities, all the work, different perspectives, different things to do. In fact, to tell you, as a entrepreneur, it is like every day is a challenge. Every day, a lot of new things come. A lot of different, like, I had never expected. I never expected that, okay, this is going to come my way, either opportunities or, something to learn, something different. It's always every day filled with that kind of thing. So it has been a very exciting journey. And I'm happy that with a lot of twists and turns and all that I have learned, um, most of it I'm able to utilize with the experience, with the expertise, and with the perspectives. And so far it's all, like, for me, uh, an exciting journey. And at these days in the job, I have to deal with people, talk to people all the time, because we are in recruitment business. We have different clients. They give different requirements, different roles, different platforms. And because of my learning with different areas in the fintech, in the engineering, in the finance, and even in the complicated areas of finance like options, futures, derivatives, they are very complicated concepts. So I used to love them. I used to like them. And I used to always be very good in mathematics and science, physics. They were my pet subjects. So all those things, small things, they contributed to me and shaped my career and shaped me what I am today. And most of the things, I would say, it is not just luck. It is the hard work. And same thing goes for everyone. Like we say somebody is lucky, but there is nothing called being lucky. Luck is hard work. When your hard work meets your opportunity, that's luck, right? So first ingredient is hard work. Then only you can get the opportunities, right? So that always, if you have an eye for opportunities and work towards that, do the hard work, do your preparation, then you will be lucky. You will achieve what you are. And each one of you here have taken that extra step to come to this course. From what I gather from Miracle and Ashley, it's a very good opportunity to learn, to be in this course here with in this boot camp. And that I believe this has given you tremendous opportunity to turn your career around and make you more employable. And I'm sure a lot of opportunities will come your way.
Yeah, I agree with you, Surya. I think luck is not enough. You also need to persevere. I think Surya is like a human personification of perseverance. Instead of seeing rejection as a defeat, you see it as progress. So I think now will be a good time to ask some questions. So thank you so much, Surya, for sharing your journey to us and for sharing some valuable advice. So I'll just start off with one question. I think this will be relevant to the group. So as you know, today's job market is quite challenging. Let's say if you were in their shoes, just finishing a program and entering the job market, what would be the first step you'd take to get started?
So first thing to get started is to look at what you are interested in and what is likely to come your way. If you can get both of these married, then you will be in the right place. So I believe you all are working towards desktop engineer or desktop analyst kind of role, or correct me if I'm wrong, Miracle or Susan. But regardless, whatever it is, first thing is what you are interested in, and you look for where that a suitable opportunity lies for that. And if you can keep trying, keep looking, keep searching, you'll always find there is room for everyone. I mean, and also there is no competition. Like you are yourself. Like there is no, if you see, there is no exact competition for yourself. You are unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone's thought process is unique. Okay, so you will carve your way out, definitely. I mean, uh, um, I think those are the two things to focus on.
Yeah.
But if we go to slightly low level than that, then probably if you think about, okay, what opportunities are, where you will find more opportunities, then it is probably in Ireland. I'm talking about the areas that are emerging or already in the growth path are probably biotechnology, biomedical, pharmaceutical, technology, means information technology, and data engineering, AI, artificial intelligence. Those are the areas that are definitely going to grow. So, and in all these areas, like if you are talking about help desk, in all these areas, there is going to be help desk. People need People always need to look for support. So if you enhance your interest in those areas where there is possibly a gap in the skills or a gap in the when we compare the demand supply, there is the areas that I mentioned, there are good demands. If you develop your interest and improve your knowledge, expertise in those areas, and in general, if you are able to talk about those areas, then you are in a better place because you have got you have developed the genuine interest in those areas.
Okay, thank you so much, Surya. I think we have a couple of hands up right here. So I'll start off with Adam. What's your question for Surya?
Yeah, hi. Thanks so much for coming over to us, Surya. I really enjoyed that talk. I guess my name's Adam. I'm here hopefully getting something with IT afterwards. I've done like computer science and media tech in the back before this, so fingers crossed this will be like the kind of marriage between all that and I'll find a breakthrough. But one thing that you said that really interested me was you said that you were very comfortable like leaving jobs once you felt that there was no more for you to learn, like no more for you to really get from the job. I just wanted to ask like what is that to you? Like when do you actually get that feeling that there's no more to get from it? Like, do you ever get worried that maybe you're leaving too early or you haven't learned everything yet? Or do you just know like inside that like, yeah, this is everything I've gotten?
So, okay, uh, because of my educational background and the way I have worked with various companies, I obviously the towards the later part of my career when I changed jobs, I was like settling in the new job on the day one itself, literally. Okay, because you know, but each job is different. Even if you are talking about the same, say, bank, for example, each bank still operates differently. There is still, there are different processes, different standards, different ways of working, different teams, different tools they use, different technologies, and after all, different set of people, different teams. Okay, you work with. So always there is something to learn. But when what happened to me was like when I was getting into new jobs, I worked through them, and uh, initial weeks or months were good learning. Then you know what, learning curve goes like exponential, right? Okay,
Yeah.
anywhere, any job. So when you get little later through your same job, then you find that probably you are repeating same day again and again. So when that stage came, I felt bored because by nature I want to do different things. And that is how, you know, even in my personal life, I can correlate with a lot of things that I have changed. Like my wife says, except wife, I have changed nearly everything in my in my career. So and it is like 35 years we are married. So nearly 35 years. Um, so that is what um, I mean, I don't know if I have answered your question fully, but
No, yeah, it's definitely different for everyone. Like,
Yeah.
but I
yeah,
definitely relate to what you said there. Like, you just feel like you're doing the same day, and I've been in there in the past before. Like, you're just going to work, you do the same thing. It's like I've literally worked this day before. So yeah, I think I understand what you're on about. Yeah.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
So thank you, Adam. Before we proceed to Jyoti, I have a question in cadence with Adam's question. As a recruiter, what is your opinion with if you see someone's CV and they have several jobs already, someone who is job hopping? Is that a red flag or someone who is just willing to learn lots of new skills in different companies?
Okay, so that depends on what kind of jobs the person is hopping.
Okay.
Okay, like uh, okay, probably it relates to my background. of job hopping quickly.
Yeah.
And I have actually never felt that as a risk to my career, because each time I have changed, hopped the jobs, I have done different things. Okay. So,
Yeah,
but
you're
somebody
no,
is hopping jobs every few months, multiple times for the same type of role, then there is a problem.
okay.
And also another thing is, like, I have been lucky to work in very specialized niche kind of areas where even if I have hopped jobs, the employers still needed me, needed my skills. So I have the upper hand. So, that was not a kind of a risk to me, but it could be a risk to others. As I said, if it is like same job you are hopping, then, and there are other people there. Suppose somebody has worked for 5 years in one company, another person has changed 4 times jobs in 5 years, then probably the employer will prefer the person who has stayed for 5 years in the company.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Surya. So we're now moving into Jyoti.
Yeah, hi Surya. I
Hello.
love the introduction. I mean, it's really kind of inspirational because coming from a middle class background and achieving so much just on the basis of your pure talent and skills with your hard work is definitely commendable. So, the question that I wanted to ask today is like, how's the current job market in Ireland for someone who's got a big career gap? And the other question that I wanted to ask is, as it's somewhat linked to Adam's previous question. Like, did you find any difficulties while in job hopping? Yeah, I'm assuming that you're definitely highly skilled and your skills were needed. But despite that fact, what were the troubles that you faced while moving out from one role to another role? So yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for the kind words. I love those. And okay, your first part, that after the gap, okay. I would say if you have got the right mindset, then gaps won't matter. Okay. You will always find someone who's very interested, who is going to be very interested in you, and they will take you. Okay. So don't worry too much about the gap, career gap, but focus on what you want to do and look for, make sure that there is an opportunity there. Means I was talking about the marriage before, what you want to do and what is available. Okay. So if you are taking care of those two aspects, then gaps wouldn't be an issue. Okay, I won't worry too much about it, particularly in a country like Ireland. Like if suppose we are talking about India, maybe things are different because there is very high unemployment, lot of skills, lot of competition, and all those things. But in Ireland, we are not likely to reach that stage very soon. Okay, so because the way Ireland is growing, the opportunities it has, the kind of um, um encouragement the job sector or job market receives from the government, the supports, and the kind of geographical as well as economical benefits in the sense, and benefit is not the right word, the privileges Ireland has. I think that situation is not going to arise here. So leave aside that aspect, and you all are fine with that. You shouldn't worry too much about it. And your second question is about the job hopping, right? And what is that specifically again you wanted to ask? Sorry.
The difficulties you faced while applying, because you said that you applied for different roles in different niches, like not for the same role. So you, while applying for different like roles in different niches, Like, what was the difficulties you faced? Because the skills would vary. Like, how did you manage to, how did you manage to, grab the offer? Yeah.
Okay, so I have taken incremental learning approach. Okay, it's not drastically different. Like from my first job to 10th job, they may be very different, but from my first job to second job to third job, I have taken incremental differences. Okay, so what I have actually done is, say for example, I started my career 35 years ago. Okay, that time job market was very different, and I started my career in India. The opportunities were different. So when I got into first job, then I kind of, in my back of my mind, I kind of analyzed myself. Where is the next opportunity? What best could match my profile? Then I tried exploring those areas, and incrementally I upgraded my skills. I upskilled myself by self-learning or by taking lessons or by, whatever means that was available to me. So those small baby steps I have taken in the beginning. Okay. So to learn more and more, rather than, repeating the same thing. So that is how I have been able to enhance my uh, comfort zone. I have, like that has been my main focus, to expand my comfort zone every time, learn new things, learn different things, do things differently. That is how I have, and I have always analyzed the market, job market, what's coming, where the job market is heading, what is, like, what kind of, suppose I have worked in a company for a year, and I felt, okay, now I'm getting bored, I have to move. So I kept on analyzing the job market, what kind of jobs are coming, what could be suitable for my profile so far, and where a small bit of learning will help me to get there. I did that self-learning, and I trained myself, and I added that to my CV, and I applied for those jobs. So that is how gradually I have kept on improving.
Thank you. That's fantastic. So it's like continuous learning and upskilling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you so
Surya.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. And we're now moving to Elena.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Elena. Thank you so much for sharing us your story. It's very inspiring us in that difficult journey and drastically changing our career direction. And I just wanted to ask, as a person who works with this recruitment system, if there is a candidate, like you see a lot of CVs, and if they have the same level of experience, like for example us, we are starting like at entry level now after bootcamp. If everyone at the same entry level and all CVs quite similar, let's say like this, and what one successful candidate makes, like what the feature of outstanding successful candidate behind all of these good ones, or like from your experience, if like as a in a recruitment company, what does this successful candidate have?
Okay, so this is not a new thing. Like, it applies to thousands graduate every year from the same course. So many tens of thousands graduates are coming from the universities every year, and they end up with the same situation. All of them are kind of competing with each other, but ultimately they all get jobs. Okay, but what stands out again is how you present yourself. CV definitely plays a CV. Your first point of presentation to the potential employer is your CV. Okay, and probably in your course you have been taught about how to make a standard good looking CV, how to structure it, and what are the essential things you should add there, your project work and all that kind of thing. And I'm sure you all did different projects, first of all, right? you all didn't do same project. That's one difference. Okay. And secondly, when it comes to the interview stage, what are your soft skills? What are your behaviors? What is your body language? How you even see, as simple as how you respond to emails. Those are all outside of your CV. Okay. Or when you pick up the phone, how do you talk? Or when you are sitting in the interview, how is your video? What is the video setting? What you are, for example, how you are dressed up? All that kind of things matter. How you present, how you wear a smile, and how confident are you when you are answering your questions. All those small things matter a lot, and that all comes down to soft skills. Okay. And one thing that I would say is that you all, or all of us, somewhere or the other, soft skills are very, very important. Whether it is a professional career, personal career, or entrepreneurial career, or anything, anywhere with your friends, or whatever, wherever, soft skills are always important. How you behave, how you interact, how you talk. Okay. That is a big differentiator. Okay. And then on top of that, even if your CVs look same, when it comes to actual interviews, how do you present about your expertise, about what you studied, or what you have learned before, or if you have worked before this course, like regardless of how many years of gap, what you have learned, what you carry from before with you, all that matters a lot. What you talk, how you present those to the potential employer. So they are all different, and here you are only 14 people, but think about how hundreds of people come from the same class, say from Trinity College or from UCD and all, they are all in the same boat. So I mean, but try to differentiate yourself. That is most important from others. And how you will differentiate yourself is by having soft skills, and again by demonstrating that your interest in the job, and how your background is going to be relevant to the job that you have applied for. All that, if you clearly demonstrate, then you are standing apart.
Yeah, I agree with Surya actually. I used to be extremely shy when I was much younger because English wasn't my first language. I remember when I first moved to Europe, I didn't talk for 3 months in school, that they thought that I was mute. But then I realized that I just need to push myself because no one else would do it for me, and I'll miss opportunity. And now I'm working in sales. So that's something I
Okay.
thought I would never do when I was in secondary school. And also the importance of networking. Surya mentioned we met 5 years ago, and look at us today, we have connected again. And before we move on to Matthew's question, I'm just going to echo Elena's question regarding CV. What's one thing that IT grads often overlook on their resume that could make a big difference, Surya?
So to a certain extent, it's again like if we are talking about the CVs, then you should try to tailor your CV as much as possible to the job you are applying for. So we tend to send the same CV to hundreds of companies, right? But each company job role is slightly or drastically different from another company's job role.
Yeah.
So same CV probably doesn't work. So you should tweak your CV slightly or majorly depending on the job description, and depending on what is asked for in the job role, so that
Yeah.
it helps you better.
Yeah.
And another thing probably is so what we say in our to our candidates is make your CV rich in keywords. So what are the keywords? Keywords are the ones that employers are looking to see in your CV. Those are the keywords, right? And always make your CV rich in keywords. And
Yeah.
those keywords are different from role to role, job to job, company to company. So if you are attentive and rather than just blindly sending the same CV to 100 companies, if you spend good few minutes looking at the job description, thinking about your CV, where you can slightly modify and how you can correlate that job description to your own background, your own experience, and slightly add those things, those keywords, and a couple of lines, extra lines to your CV, that will probably play better.
Okay, and one more question. I think this was asked a few weeks ago regarding CVs again. How do you feel about seeing like 3 pages worth of CV, or do you prefer just seeing 1-page CV?
Yeah, so I feel in Ireland, like again, if you are if the person doesn't have any experience, then limit your CV to 1 page. That's fine,
Okay.
because you are not reached a level where you have to demonstrate a lot on your CV. But if you have a good bit of experience beforehand, done something relevant to this job you are applying for, then your CV can be long, maybe 2 pages or 3 pages, depending on what you are trying to bring to the table.
Okay, thank you so much, Surya. We're now moving ahead to Matthew. Matthew, thank you for your patience, by the way. Sorry about that.
Is it all? Thanks again for basically going through your story. I think it's very applicable now. One of the things I'm getting used to, because I'm transitioning from the fundraising nonprofit sector to tech, that the recruitment side and like the kind of the job search is quite different. Like the culture almost is quite different between the fundraising side and the tech side. So I'm just getting used to that. Plus the change in recent years from like a lot of full-time employment to more project-based work and contract work. So hearing about you moving from place to place to gain experience in multiple different sectors is actually a bit more comforting at the beginning of the career, because I'm trying to get used to that idea. With that aside, what do you feel from the recruitment side is a huge challenge that, say, graduates like ourselves or job seekers like ourselves will be facing between now and, say, the next few years?
Between now and
The next few years, like
next
any
year. Okay.
challenges you see coming
Yeah,
in the future?
so you have to continuously upgrade yourself. If you don't, then there can be challenges. And you know what? The kind of the landscape, the job market, the landscape is changing like never before these days. You know, the way technology has come in and it has taken over everything. Like suppose when I graduated, for example, I graduated as a mechanical engineer, okay, 35 years back. Actually it is not 37 years back. Okay. So that time engineering was the main area. Like engineer means the best. Engineers and doctors, those are the two things we knew in India. Either to be a doctor or an engineer, nothing else. But now nobody talks about engineering or doctors. Everybody talks about these days about AI. And a lot of things have happened in between. And most of those changes have happened, drastic changes have happened in recent years. Okay, so next few years, we don't know what is going to come. After AI, what? Or how long AI is going to go on? Or how things are going to fork out of AI? Okay, all those things gradually unfold. But in my perception, what I feel that AI is going to stay forever, and lot more things are going to be building upon it. Like the way computers, for example, when like 20-30 years back, computers are not so popular, but when they became popular, they entered everywhere. Technology entered everywhere, every walk of life, every field, every career, every domain. Okay, same way AI is coming in a very, very big way. It's only what I see, AI is only scratching the surface at the moment. Okay, and a lot of things are going to happen. So what you have to do to make yourself future proof is to keep up with the trend, market trend, job market trend, and keep up with the technology. Be informed what's going on, how things are going to shape up, and be prepared for it, to embrace it. That will only the solution to make you future proof.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Now we only have less than 10 minutes, but I just came up with 2 questions regarding Matthew's question right there. So I'll just keep this brief. And as you said, AI will stay forever. With AI and automation advancing, what skills are, let's say, becoming more valuable for IT grads entering the job markets? And how important is it for entry-level candidates to know specific programming languages or tools versus showing the ability to learn quickly?
You mean what?
To rephrase the question, I think Miracle was trying to emphasize, what do you think is more valuable, showing the willingness to be able to learn quickly and adapt, or having a vast range of experience within technology that you've already learned? I think that was the question.
It is, I think between the two, it is the first point, that is willingness to adapt and change. That is more important than, because what you have learned could be obsolete, right? If you only stick to what you have learned and think that, okay, that is going to safeguard you, then you don't know, you probably are going to be obsolete in next 2 years. But if you change and adapt, keeping an open eye for what is coming your way or what is coming in the job market, then that is going to add more value to your career.
And does anybody else have any other questions or anything? Yes, Pooja?
Yeah, hi, Surya. Thank you so much for today's session. It's really enlightening for us. So I just wanted to have one clarity. So my name is Pooja, and I have 5+ years of experience working into business and sales. And now I have done this IT generation course. So I basically do not want to do the whole transition into the technology, but I want some combination of I have business side of experience, plus I want to gain more experience into technology, and I want to work into this particular field. So what do you think, what sort of roles or what sort of more skills I can gain to work in the particular field?
Okay, so business and technology, they are two essential parts, and you cannot actually ignore one for the other. Like probably, suppose we are talking about a developer, a Java developer, okay? For a Java developer, Java skills are more important, okay? But in order to grow in the career as a Java developer, the person has to understand the business. The person has to have a clear knowledge of why he is developing something, he or she, why he is changing that line of code, why it is required to have this data table or that data table or whatever, like why this data table is required here, okay? Or why this API has to be developed for our customer. Blindly developing a API is not going to help grow in the career. If you want to grow in your career, you have to understand the business logic, business perspective, business reasoning for it. So there is always a reason for what you are doing, okay? And that's a business knowledge, right? So for you, if you are, since you are coming from sales background, right? And you do not, suppose you do not want to go into hardcore technology, which is justified, and it is like there are a lot of jobs out there also for pure non-technology people. which is absolutely fine. Like, I mean, both the things that you mentioned there, business knowledge and business knowledge is definitely required for whatever you do. And nowadays, without technology, you cannot do anything. Okay. And that's what also you have to do. So those two mix is very good, very fine. And knowingly or unknowingly, everyone is going to do that. And for you, because you have got actual working experience as a sales person, or in I don't know, regardless of whatever type of sales it is, whether it's B2B sales or B2C or retail or products or services or whatever, that experience is going to definitely be useful for you in your career. And you have to, keep yourself upgrading with the technology. And obviously, you will be learning more and more as you move on in your career.
Yes, definitely, sure. Thank you so much. And also, I just wanted to know one thing, like most of the time when I used to give the interviews, so at the time of screening or after the screening, I get rejection because of like not having European experience, European market experience, because I have only Indian market experience. So is it something like if I join or if I plan to work in retail or something like store, so will this gonna be add the experience for the market or like it will of no use, like how it's reflect to the recruiters or the companies?
Well, again, if it is the retail work that you are suggesting, mentioning here, if it is aligning with what you want to do, what is your career aspirations, then it is going to be useful. But if they're totally unrelated, obviously not going to be useful. So you have to, I mean, without going too much into detail of exactly what you did, what was your previous experience in what area, what product, what sales and all that. What I can say at a high level is that when you are going for a new job, if you can think that, okay, if you want to do whatever you are aspiring for, your new job should be related to that. If at all you are having challenges of directly getting into that new job, you should be looking for something close enough. Then you're getting there. Or maybe you have to think about internship route and that kind of thing, which would be, you have to explore if there is an internship available or something that where you are really interested to do, that kind of route you can take. And then after gaining experience in Ireland, you can actually look for opportunities.
Thank you so much. Surya, thanks so much, Pooja. And apologies, my internet went down there. So I think now we've just reached the end of the call. And once again, I'd like to say congratulations to the group and to Susan for the great mentorship. And thank you again, Surya.